time, and we're optimistic about getting the swell which will come with the full moon out at the left-hander. It's quite famous. It was discovered many years ago by Lance Nelson, the famous surfer from the 70s. Yeah, we're hoping to get out there and catch a swell. Yeah, Lance has got a bit of history here on this island, and he was said to have met a young local girl over in the village where he was staying out here, and they eventually had a family, but he was also making his surfboards out of the local materials, and there was one day in particular where there was a huge swell breaking, and he paddled out across the bay to the left-hander, which was peeling off perfectly down the reef, and he was never seen again. So his family are very concerned about what happened to Lance. And Lance was a bit of a recluse, as you can imagine, here in Nias. So he always shunned any tourist boats that sailed into the harbour. Now we're going to pay homage to Lance Nelson, who perished at sea all those years ago, out of the famous left-hander out here. We've come across a young fellow here who knew Lance in the 70s, and it's a bit hard with the language. They have a particular dialect here that we don't understand. So anyway, we're trying to get more information about Lance, and evidently he was quite liked here in the village. Lance liked. Do you remember Lance? Probably not. We believe that Lance perished at sea on these famous left-handers out here at the end of the bay. What can you tell us about that? Not much. Okay, we've summoned a local fisherman who's got his own boat from another village, and he supposedly knows where Lance's village is, and he's going to take me and show me, hopefully. So with a bit of luck, we'll be on to Lance within the day. You see Lance's village now? Okay, we've come across a young fellow here who's living on the island, and we're hoping he might be able to fill in a few gaps for us. What was your name again?
My name is Bastimanto Antonio, half English, half Anglo-Saxon.
And what we're trying to find out is there's a story of a surfer who used to live
Lance.
Here on the, Lance.
What's his second name?
Nelson.
Nelson. I've heard of him. I've heard of him.
Very
yes.
good. Yeah,
yes.
We heard that he paddled out to surf this left-hander once and never came back. Is that correct?
Well, he's from Lubis's village. Lubis might tell you more.
So this is Lance. What actually happened to him in the end?
Well, to be honest, there's if myth or legend be told, there's quite a few different stories running around, but the one that I like to run with is that he was here, he was dedicated to this spot, this location, this exact premises of this local area. He started shipping in his foam, his resins to try and construct surfboards, and he just thought, fuck it, I'll just do it myself. He was getting sap from coconut trees and banana leaves, and he was weaving mats out of bamboo, and he found this crystallized resin in the bottom of this creek, and he formulated his own resin, his own hardener. He started making his own surfboards, and legend has it that on this very point he took out one of his homemade craft, and Lubis will back me up, and apparently there's a swell of 79, it was like 15 to 18 foot, and he took off on the bomb and rode it all the way through to the village, and then pulled into the end hospital section, closeout section, and then from that I've heard nothing more.
So legend has it that Lance had a family in the village here on the island, is that correct?
Yeah, I heard 7 or 17 kids. I don't know if it's a myth or a legend, but
wow.
There's definitely some little albino sprogs running around, you know?
Aha, so that's what really happened to Lance, eh? Have you heard any of the other stories at all? Are they similar to that?
Rung a bell, you guys have brought the name up, it's jogged my memory slightly. You guys were saying maybe paddle out to the right-hander, left-hander there, but I'd think that a legend like himself, like Lance Nelson, he was probably if he'd come all this way to this remote part of Indonesia, he'd probably be quite an accomplished surfer. He'd probably choose to ride the right-hand bommy. You can probably see in the background just feathering, even though it's a bit onshore. That's quite a lot more challenging wave, and if he did disappear,
cyber insurance job
where we were surfing the Bommy. See, this has got similar conditions to that fabled 79 swell, but we're in a similar location, in a similar area. The wind conditions aren't quite right, the swell's not favourable, but this is the actual said location, or possibly one of many, that fabled 79 swell was rode by the man Lance Nelson.
Probably the biggest swell I've ever been in.
Look at this!
Holy moly, look at that.
Mencari
he's actually come ashore with it, or it's just floated here. We don't know. We're going to try and find somebody who can tell us a bit more. Some information about Lance, the video. They're looking for a man named Lance Nelson with broken surfboard over here in the village. Do you know anything about him? No? I think it's a problem. The language is going to be a problem.
Hidupku bagai awan ditiup angin malam, seolah tak kuasa menampung hidup ini. Kini aku bersedih hati.
So I've had to paddle to the inside section to get out of his way, and that lip just kept holding up and like following me as I was paddling away from it. It was and just exploded on top of me. And I duck dived, held the board with both arms, and ripped out of me in a fraction of a second, like it was nothing. It was just amazing.
and I think I can see him coming now. So let's talk to Jim and see if what he knows. Jim, how you doing? I've been looking for this character, Lance Nelson, up here in Sumatra and the islands out inside Nias, and we believe you might have met him years ago. Is that correct?
Yeah. I've run across Lance before. What do you want with me?
Well, we've been chasing this story down for quite a few weeks now. Yeah, we just haven't had any luck out in the islands trying to find any information from the locals about him, and he seems to have disappeared. That's all we can find out.
It's funny, you're not the first person to ask me about Lance Nelson. I've had a few people.
Really?
Yeah, some of them, I don't know, they didn't seem so friendly actually.
Oh, okay.
You seem to be okay, but
Yeah, well,
they weren't such friendly characters, I thought. I was like, that sounds like fun, but how are you going to get back, you know? And they said, I'm going to organise them to come pick me up in 6 weeks. And I was like, oh, okay, but what about if they don't come? What are you going to do, you know? I think it's sort of,
really
it's a long
remote.
trek to get from where you are back out to the villages. Like, you know, you're talking serious survival stuff to make that sort of trek.
Yeah.
And that's the last of it.
Yeah, well, like I said, we asked in all the local villages there, and very little information. We actually had trouble conversing with the locals.
Yeah,
Thanks for that, Jim, and really appreciate you helping out. Nice to meet you.
No worries. Good luck finding him.
Thank you.
Thank you for finding the fellow jumping like that.
All right.
Have a good day, huh?
Prognosis of the trip basically is spent 12 days scouring the remote regions of West Sumatra and uninhabited islands. We heard some rumours about Lance. Our last destination was Fulu, where he was last seen by the villagers pulling into that monstrous 12-foot barrel, well, I'd say 15 foot. Some of the villagers reckon he never come out, was never to be seen again. I believe if he's just still nestled in the jungle on one of these islands in his tree hut, meditating over Western society, it's more of a thing. I don't think he doesn't want to see people, so he's probably keeping his head